So today we're doing a special review of the novelization of Beauty and the Beast. That is the book version of the new film. And so this can be very spoiler heavy, so if you don't want to know what's different between the new film and the animated classic, then don't watch this video because we're going to talk about it, at least what is in this novel. And there are times when the novelization will have things that the movie doesn't have, like Force Awakens novelization has a number of things that the movie doesn't have because things get cut out and things like that. So there's no guarantee that every single thing that's in this book will be in the movie, but it can give you some hints at least if you like that kind of thing, which I do. So let's talk about this novelization. And it's really interesting because the novelization really kind of made me realize how much I depend upon those songs for the story and for the enjoyment of the film, because there were so many times in this novelization where it would get up to the part that is such a highlight with a song, and it would just be kind of like something like the Foo told Gaston how great he is and then some explanation about that, but it's so different than the song. And so that will be different than in the movie, because in the movie you'll have the songs, whereas the novelization you can't. But it was just eye-opening to me how much the songs make a difference in the story. And because really a lot of the storytelling in this movie happens through the songs, especially some of the early songs. And so it's just interesting. You get a lot of humor and you get a lot of warmth in the songs. And so the novelization ended up feeling kind of boring because a lot of that flair and a lot of the stuff that engages you was gone because of the songs. Now, for the most part, it's pretty similar. There's a few differences. One of the big differences is that they flesh out the backstory of the Beast. And the Beast in the animated classic is cursed when he's a child. And so Belle kind of has to nurture him, and it's more of a tutor kind of relationship almost in a way, because she's teaching him how to read, she's teaching him how to behave and different things like that. Well, in this case, it's different because the Beast is an adult and everything's kind of frozen in time. And that's true for everybody in the whole village. The whole kingdom kind of forgets that the Beast is there, and their loved ones are, like, everyone in the castle is just sort of frozen from their loved ones and that were outside of the castle when the curse occurred. It's sort of a different thing because you have basically the Beast is a full-fledged adult here and much more of like a reader and a philosopher and other things like that. So when him and Belle meet, they're much more of equals, and they have all these sort of like philosophic discussions kind of. And so it's just a very different dynamic than what you get in the animated film. I'm not saying that's bad, I'm just saying that's what it is. And then there's a couple other character differences that they make. Another big one is that Gaston is not just a town hero, he actually is like a war hero, which I thought was sort of a weird change to make, because he's got like, it's almost like he has sort of PTSD in this, like he's sort of traumatized, and so it's sort of harder to sort of laugh at his buffoonery that he has this like things he felt in the war kind of things, which is sort of weird. And so yeah, it's just very different, and I think in a lot of ways they sort of sucked a lot of the fun out of the story, because you have it's just a lot more tragic, which I'm not saying that's bad, but you have something like Mrs. Potts. Her husband was outside of the castle, so they are frozen out of each other, so she's been away from her husband, and pretty much every single character has kind of a sort of a tragic backstory where the curse, that they had no part in the bad behavior of the prince, that they were punished because of it. So it's all kind of sort of sad, and it's not the sort of goofy, silly kind of thing that you get in the animated film. I also changed some of the sort of mythology of the story. So instead of the objects remaining objects, but sentient objects that move around. If the petal falls, then the beast will remain a beast, but just like a animal. He'll lose any human properties, and then the other household objects will just become household objects. And so Belle finds out about this, and she wants to help make this not happen. And so she says all around her, the other members of the staff who had been helping tend to the beast joined in, adding to the laundry list of what they would become. Belle listened, her heart growing sad. She knew what it felt like to be trapped. She felt that way living in Villeneuve. The difference was she could leave if she ever really wanted to get away. Mrs. Potts, Lumiere, Cogsworth, they couldn't. They were stuck inside the castle walls, and she now knew, stuck inside the objects they had become as well. She turned and looked at the sleeping beast. Like his staff, he was trapped too. He had been trapped for a long, long time, first by a cruel father, and then by his curse. I want to help you, Belle said. There must be some way to lift the curse. So she gets like involved kind of in the actual sort of lifting of the curse. It's not just something that happens because they fall in love. It's something that she kind of like decides to do. And so you just have to kind of decide for yourself whether that's better or worse. I don't know. It's just different. And so I don't know. I do feel like they kind of sapped a lot of the joy out of the story. First of all, you don't get the songs. Again, that's just the novelization. So I think that in the movie that a lot of that tonal problems will kind of be solved because the songs are so joyous. But I still worry that a lot of these changes, making Gaston a war veteran, making her sort of aware of this curse and this gloominess of characters that were very joyful in the animated film, like Lumiere, for instance, and having it be sad, that is just going to be a big downer, and I don't know, that it's just not going to be sort of the light fairy tale that I know and love. And so I don't know, I just feel like, boy, is this going to be a joyless endeavor. A lot of the stuff that is in the animated film that comes off as kind of funny, like in here, comes off as kind of scary or sad, like the proposal scene or Gaston, and there is absolutely nothing in here about LeFou being gay. Zero, nothing. I mean, that's just so clear to me that was just a publicity stunt to gain attention. It's not anything organic to the story, or you would have it mentioned at least in the novelization. And so that's really lame, I think. And the rest of it is pretty similar, but anyway, those are some big changes. So let me know what you think. Do those changes worry you? Do you like them? Do they sound good? Do they sound bad? What do you think? And yeah, so that's the novelization. Overall, I thought it was kind of boring, and it was just kind of a downer. So it wasn't my favorite, so I wouldn't really recommend reading it, but if you're curious about these changes, then go ahead and read it. And so there you go. That's the novelization of Beauty and the Beast. So thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!